Hello, Facebook world. We're going to give you a minute to join. I know some folks are sharing this and tweeting it and Facebooking this. This is Chris Faddis, one of the co-founders of Solidarity HealthShare. I'm excited to be with you, and this is my furry friend. I'm sorry.
Brad Hahn, the CEO of Solidarity HealthShare.
Oh wait, this is live. I probably shouldn't have said that. I thought that was our practice.
You're fine.
Okay. So this is actually Brad's first time ever being on Facebook. Not even just Facebook Live, but ever being on Facebook. So
yeah. Do I have to have an account to do this?
Technically, but we got you in on my pass.
Oh, good.
So yeah.
Because didn't want to sign up for this.
So Brad, we're excited to be with you guys here. We are here just to talk to you about Solidarity HealthShare. We're going to share a little bit about why we started Solidarity and what our mission is and what we're trying to do. And then we're also going to take some time for questions if anyone has them. If you don't, then you're just going to listen to us talk endlessly, which I guess we'll talk endlessly either way. So do me a favor, if you are here because you're a member of Solidarity HealthShare, please do me a favor and make a comment and let us know you're a member and when you joined. If you're not a member, you're thinking about it, I hope you'll listen to what we have to say. Brad.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Why did you get involved in healthcare sharing?
My wife made me. So
there you have it.
That's the big picture.
Will your wife make everyone in America that's watching this?
Well, if they ask her opinion, she'd say everybody must join Solidarity HealthShare.
Why is that? Why does everyone have to join?
Well, because it's an affordable and an ethical alternative to traditional health insurance. That's the big picture.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so we're trying to build a community here. And so the people that are just sick and tired and fed up with the current process, how the third-party payer system works, how everything is overinflated, and then you have to play that discount game, and so with that, and then with the conscience violations, and that's originally why you and me started talking about this many years ago, is with the conscience violations. How can us Catholics and Christians that would be faithful to the Church in Jesus Christ, how do we fulfill that while we pay for our medical expenses? And so that's what I get excited about.
And just if you see me looking over here, it's because I'm also moderating the comments and just kind of watching for any questions. So I'm not Facebooking on my own. So just so you know why. Brad's the talent, and I'm the talent and the producer. So
that's good.
Yeah, you're just the talent. We can only give this guy one job. So Brad's background, Brad's an estate planning attorney, and part of how we became good friends, in addition to working together in parish ministry, was when my first wife, Angela, was dying of cancer. Brad had a lot to do with helping us through end-of-life decisions. He prepared our will, our all that stuff, but also guided us through the decisions. But one of the things that led us to this place was when Angela and I were trying to find her the right treatment. And you remember, Brad, we had come home to Phoenix. We were looking for options. And there were some great options available, but they weren't affordable.
Right.
They weren't available through insurance, and so we just went out on faith and said, Lord, if you want this for us, you'll provide. And through online campaigns and some other ways, the church, a lot of people who are members of Solidarity actually were part of this. They gave, and it was up $120,000 by the end that we raised for her care. How incredible is that?
It's amazing, and so that's what the whole principle, the basis, the foundation of medical cost sharing is.
Right.
It's like-minded, Christians come together to form a community to take care of one of those not only spiritual needs, which we do through prayer and prayer intentions, for our members, but also through the sharing of medical expenses.
Right. I feel like we have to get really close to both be on the screen here, so this is testing our friendship. But in that line, one of the things that I like about this is it's a lot of people will contact me and say, hey, I need to raise money for my sister or my brother or my mom. And I honestly don't know how feasible it is. And first of all, it's different now. It's it's not as new and kitsch, and it's a little harder to raise money. But also, not everyone has the kind of network that I had. I mean, I had traveled the country a lot. I had known a lot of people, so we had a network to do that. And what I love about this is it's a committed amount of money that people pay each month. Your family, my family, all of the member families of Solidarity pay that monthly amount. And when the need arises, you don't have to launch a fundraising campaign.
Right, exactly.
You give us a call.
Yes.
You show us your bills. You call us up. We have a member right now who has a minor cancer. We're taking care of his needs. We have a member today that's in knee surgery. We're taking care of his needs. We have a member with a stroke. We're taking care of his needs. Right. And none of them had to go do the work of raising money.
Yeah, that's a true blessing.
And you've been, as an estate planning attorney, you've been involved in fundraising. I mean, you know how hard this is.
Right. Yeah, and that's what this is, just such a natural outreach. But a lot of people question healthcare sharing.
Right.
Because they say, well, how does it work? Because they'll say, like, we have a You know, what about if the bill gets over $1 million?
Right.
You know, and I just say those bills are rare, and even if in the last 40 years of the history of medical cost sharing, even the bills that did reach $100, those are usually discounted down to a couple $100,
right.
or a couple $100,000. Yeah, and so that's how we have to be conscious, mindful of what our medical expenses are.
Yeah.
And so, you know, quick example of that is when my son got kicked in the calf playing basketball, and we had to go to physical therapist. Julie walked in, presented the Solidarity card, and said, "What's your best price here?" I'm a Christian, you know, healthcare sharing ministry. They said $80 a visit, and they thought we were insurance, so they billed Solidarity $290.
Right.
That sent Julie through the roof. So she picked up the phone and called and said, "What are you doing to us?" You know, and they rebuild it at $80. So look how conscious Julie was. She
Right.
was able to catch that.
Right.
You know, and if people don't negotiate the cash price, then we run the medical bill, the provider bill through our computer system to try to do some kind of reference-based pricing to kind of see what's fair and reasonable in the marketplace,
Right.
what we should be paying for.
And we actually want to pay the doctor well and
Exactly.
the facility well, but we want to pay a reasonable amount. And what the insurance companies have done is put the doctors in the position where they're not going to get reimbursed what they should. So the doctor has to do something which we think is really unethical,
Right.
which is overbill the bill in order to just get the basics they need. I mean, we know doctors who are making, you know, for an 8-hour surgery, they might make $800 and they still have to pay their nurse for that.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, Chris, but I want in this whole process, I want the best paid person, the guy that's actually cutting on it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't want some bureaucrat, some insurance company taking those profits. I want the profits to go, and that's
Right.
the big dilemma that, you know, providers are having right now is, you know, up to 60% of their overhead goes to dealing with insurance companies.
Right. Yeah, and we make it simple. I mean, I didn't bring the bills because I wasn't sure about confidentiality, but one of the things that I wanted to share is that, you know, we had doctors come. My wife is currently pregnant. We're 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away from having a baby. And, you know, Solidarity's members are taking care of that.
Yeah.
You know, we had our personal responsibility we had to pay for.
Right.
And we took care of that, and now the rest is, I got a check from Solidarity to go hand the hospital this week to prepay for her delivery. Yeah. And that bill, if it was billed to us directly, would have been probably over $12,000, maybe $15,000.
Exactly.
We're paying $3,500 cash
Right.
for her whole delivery. How amazing is that? Now, I see a lot of you watching the video, which is awesome. Do me a favor and like it or share it. We're trying to get the word out. As you know, we want more people to join our community. So
Isn't that the same thing, liking and sharing it?
Liking and sharing, no, they're two different things.
Okay.
We're going to teach Brad about, maybe we'll do another video where we teach Facebook 101 to Brad, because that might be comedic. But anyway, that is an amazing thing. And then our provider sent bills in 2 weeks ago, and the checks were sent to them last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Our providers are getting paid so quickly. It's not always within a week,
Right.
but it's happening so quickly. They're happy. We're paying them a good amount. And the member, you get to choose who you go to. You get to choose who you work with and what care you get. Be sure to post your questions down at the bottom. I see some interesting comments. We'll start reading those in just a second. What else do you want to share about what we're trying to solve here, Brad? While I'm looking at the comments here.
Well, I think another big issue in healthcare is just pre-existing conditions as well. And, you know, our studies that we've been doing now is most pre-existing conditions, how they're treated traditionally in the medical community, you know, about up to 50 to 75% of that treatment is just wasteful and fraudulent. And so our goal here is at Solidarity, what we eventually want to do is assign advocates to our members.
Right.
And so then if somebody comes, I'll just give you an example, is one of our good friends, Faddis, who's going to be helping us with this whole process. Remember his father-in-law,
right.
80 years old, had prostate cancer, and so then Faddis said, "Do not take anything. Everyone, once they're around 80, they're going to get prostate cancer. Let's just don't do anything invasive, and let's just go in and just do some hormone, therapy and treatment, and you'll live another 10, 15 years peacefully, right?" And so he didn't take his son-in-law's advice, which most father-in-laws don't. It's been my experience.
80-year-olds tend to be not listen to their kids. Yeah, that's just the bottom.
Yeah, so they did a biopsy on the prostate, and it got infected. Then they had to go remove it. So this poor 80-year-old man spends 3 months in the hospital. You know, to me, that's egregious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he ends up dying, I think, within 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And not from the prostate.
Right.
From all the complications.
From the surgery.
You know, one of the things that we want for our members is we want to help be advocates for you. We want to help guide you and give you the resources. You know, in addition to being out marketing and sharing this ministry and inviting people to be a part of Solidarity HealthShare and taking care of their medical costs in an ethical way, we are also out there meeting with a lot of these, like Dr. Faddis and other physicians who are doing groundbreaking things to help people, direct primary care practices and advanced cancer therapies and unipathic medicine, all kinds of areas where people are truly, in a cost-effective way, curing diseases. They're prolonging people's lives. They're doing these things that the medical monopolies aren't doing. And some of that stuff is worthwhile. We need hospitals, we need surgeries, but we also need to really be able to direct our care.
Yeah, and we have to use prudence in all of our decisions.
Absolutely.
And I still remember the story when I took my wife into the hospital and she had an appendicitis attack, and the doctor wouldn't give me any information. He's like, well, do I remove this appendix? Yes or no? The MRI is inconclusive. And I was like, well, how do I make this decision, doctor? Will you tell me yes or no?
Right.
I was ready to strangle this guy. And so it had been nice to have somebody to rely on. So I ended up calling this priest friend of mine who was a doctor. So I had to go outside my traditional medical process to do that. But that's where in Solidarity we want to make that part of our process.
Right.
And so the priest says, go poke the appendix. Then Julie screamed. The priest says, that's Julie screaming. It's infected, remove it.
Yeah.
And then I went back and told the surgeon, remove it. He said, that's the best decision you ever could have made.
Why didn't he tell you that?
Yeah.
And that's the thing we want to do. I mean, I remember when Angela was going home for hospice care, and I called you, and you walked me through a very simple process on how to make that decision. Nobody in the hospital was able to do that for me. It was like, they kind of helped. They did their best. They were trying, but to have those advocates, and that's what we're trying to build. We're building a community. So if you're just joining us, maybe you've never heard of Solidarity HealthShare, maybe you have. Solidarity HealthShare is an affordable, we believe, I mean, maybe not for everybody, for our families it is, could be an affordable way for you, an ethical approach to healthcare where you are in control of your healthcare costs, or your healthcare decisions, and we help facilitate the sharing of your medical needs. So our members, we pay in a monthly amount, and then the needs are shared among our membership, and you have your responsibility there, you select your providers. It's a really great model.
Yeah, well, plus Solidarity as a recognized healthcare sharing ministry under the Center for Medicare Services. So our members are exempt from the Obamacare. Well, it used to be called a fine, but the Supreme Court calls it a tax now.
Right.
So our members are exempt from that personal responsisibility payment every year.
I have two questions for you. A couple comments here that allude to this, and then also some things that people have come and said to us.
This is the first question I've ever received from.
Yeah. Well, this is sort of. This is kind of I'm taking Chris's statement and making it a question here, giving him the benefit of the doubt. And people ask me this all the time, they ask you this all the time, don't you think that the Trump administration and Congress is going to solve this problem? They're going to repeal and replace Obamacare, and this isn't going to be an issue, and solidarity isn't needed. Why are we still doing this?
Well, I think it's pretty indicative with Trump's first proposal with Speaker Ryan, what happened. What they called the American Care Act or whatever it was dubbed Trump Care.
Right.
That was written by the insurance companies. And so right there, it had all that garbage in there. It didn't totally repeal any of the mandates, the contraception mandate, the abortion mandate and such. That's the first issue. And then also, too, is that you look at how they solve pre-existing conditions. So Speaker Ryan wanted to add another bill to that, just as saying, we'll give the insurance companies $15 billion to deal with pre-existing conditions.
Right.
And so it's like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so the insurance companies created this.
I have to stop you there. I would love to start a company where the government just said, hey, out the gate, we're going to give you $15 billion.
Yeah.
Just out the gate. You go take care of whatever you want. And then I can up the price to whatever I want. That's a great model.
Well, that's what happened, too, is with this how we're in such a fiasco today, is basically the Affordable Care Act says, okay, the government has no control in the individual marketplace, so let's take control of the individual marketplace. Let's force every American to buy health insurance from an insurance company.
Right.
Yeah, or they face a fine. So now my hard-earned money is being taken from me, given to an insurance company or the federal government as a fine or a mandate, which is in turn given to an insurance company.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah,
and contrast that to what Solidarity is. Solidarity is not a business. We are a nonprofit ministry that is here to support our members. We facilitate their needs. You as the members are the health share.
Exactly.
The members share the needs. Solidarity is not paying your bill. You don't call me up and say, hey, Chris, can you give me some money so I can pay a bill? You submit your bill, and pursuant to our member guidelines, we share that among the members. And the administrative costs are lower. The third parties are removed.
Right.
You're working directly with your doctor. If we need to get involved, we'll work directly with your doctor. I mean, I've been on the phone with 3 or 4 providers in the last week to negotiate different procedures for people and taking care of payment right there. And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I was able to visit one of our members in the hospital last week. week.
Right.
You know, how awesome is that? And you know how shocked those people were when they said, hey, this is the guy who's, his organization is the payer. I said, no, Tom, you and the members of the payer. But they were like, there's no way. You don't know the guy who, but this is a ministry. We are doing this together. We're praying for each other. We're sharing. Contrast that to this model where the government has said, no, you're forced to pay this to private companies that are amoral, that are making decisions for their stockholders.
Exactly. And so, the whole health insurance industry and most of a lot of the medical profession has abandoned all of its Christian ethics.
Right.
And so an example I have there is I had a 90-year-old man euthanized, a client of mine euthanized in the hospital in December here.
Right.
At a hospital. You know, because a non-Christian worldview came in and basically told my client, your life is no longer worth living. Look at you. You're pathetic. And you're a burden on society and you're a burden on your family. Just do the right thing and starve yourself to death.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and so
that's awful.
It's frightening.
And there's so many people. We look at what's happened with states that have physician-assisted suicide, and now insurance companies can say we're not going to give you treatment anymore because there's not proof that you're going to live longer than 12 months or 6 months, whatever that is, and then they start to they say, well, but we'll pay for the pill to take your life. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we're facing, and we're going to continue facing. Congress will do something. They will make some change. We know that. But will it be the solution we're looking for? So far, what we saw in the last proposal, it was going to be more expensive. It was going to cause more problems, gave more controls to the third-party payers. So for us, in our families, it's a no. You guys do what you want. We're going to stay over here and do health sharing. So
and so this whole thing is the government and the large insurance companies are not the answer to our problem.
Right.
They are the problem.
Right. Yeah, they just need to facilitate.
That's a Ronald Reagan quote.
That is a Ronald. You stole that from Ronald. So. Okay, a couple more questions that have come through. One question is, how much does it cost? So it depends on the size of your family. Anywhere at our most comprehensive program, anywhere from $199 a month to $449 a month for a full family. So Brad and I each pay for our families $449 a month, and then we take care of the first $1,500 of medical expenses. And then the rest is pursuant to member guidelines. If it's eligible for sharing, it will be shared among the members.
Yeah, and we got to take a step back with those member guidelines too, and what the goal of that is.
Explain that.
Yeah, the whole goal is with the member guidelines, they're faithful to the teaching of the church. And the reason is so our members who we don't have to pay for morally objectionable items, like abortifacient, contraception, gender reassignment surgeries. And so we opt out of that system where Congress and the governments and the courts are constantly trying to force us to do that.
Can I ask you, this is a great one, came from Andy. Do I ever have to pay? You just said it, but I just want you to say it clearly. Do I ever have to pay for abortions?
No.
Do I ever have to pay for sterilizations?
No.
Amen.
Yeah.
Just say amen to that, because that's the thing. We do not need to force anyone to pay for these things.
Right.
First off, we want no one to do that. But if you're going to do it, that's why would the members pay that?
Well, and also too is we believe in restoring the body to how God purely intended it.
Right.
And so like if we have a brother that had a vasectomy and he feels compelled to get that reversed, Solidarity will share in that expense up to a one-time chance to try to reverse that vasectomy, because we want to be a truly Christian plan.
Right.
That's going to restore the whole function of the body. For that marriage.
And then the idea too with pregnancy. So teenage pregnancy. Let's say you're a member and you're a good standing member and your daughter gets pregnant. We're gonna help take care of that need. We're not going to say, sorry, you didn't live by biblical standards. We're not going to take care of you. We're going to bring you in. We're going to take care of you, but we're also going to resource you. We're going to take that young woman and point her out to the Crisis Pregnancy Center, to counseling, to something like Maggie's Place where she might be able to live if she needs that. So we're going to be able to help these people and help restore them to what God intended for them.
Yeah, we got to reach out to the whole person,
right?
Not just the disease or the illness.
Yeah.
And that's where Christ is going to reach everyone as well.
There's some really good questions here. Lupita, you asked about information in Spanish. If you call our 800 number, and I'll make a comment to your comment, 844-313-4999, and ask for a Spanish-speaking person. There is a young woman there who can help you in Spanish. We're happy to do that. We don't have printed materials in Spanish yet, but we are working on that. So, but we'd love it if you call and ask for a Spanish-speaking person, and they'll get you routed to her. Andy asked about the abortions. We answered that one. The cost we answered. And you can visit our website, solidarityhealthshare.org. I'm going to put a link up as well that helps to do that. Matt, our good friend, asked where the breakfast burritos were. And if Matt gets back out to Phoenix, we will show you where the breakfast burritos are,
yes,
my friend. So El Sol Burrito, or whatever it's called.
Bakery.
El Sol Bakery. That's where you want to go. And let's see, what else? I'm sorry if this sounds too low. We're trying to be loud. If if you can't hear us, you might. We'll try to get some better mics for next time. What about pre-existing conditions, Brad? Because that's something that, and just to let you know, from our heart, if it was just our heart, if our heart could produce all the money we needed, we would say there is no such thing as a pre-existing condition. But can you explain how we handle pre-existing conditions, and then also what's kind of our reasoning behind it, and all that?
Yeah, kind of the big picture. There's we kind of break down pre-existing conditions in two categories. One, if a pre-existing condition could be cured or fixed or corrected by a lifestyle change, like maybe high blood pressure, obesity, or something like that. And then those have an optional health track where they can get monthly coaching to try to correct that behavior to help a better lifestyle. The other thing is if there is a symptom or a sign over the last 3 years of an illness or a sickness or a cancer, the first year of membership, it's not eligible for sharing. And then the second year, it's eligible up to $25,000, and then the third year, it's eligible up to $50,000. Then in the fourth year, it's fully shareable, as long as the need is for medical issues regarding our member guidelines, following them.
That's great.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers your question. The best thing to do with any pre-existing condition you're not sure about is to call that 800 number, 844-313-4999, and they will answer those questions and talk you through it. And then ultimately, if maybe you're just not sure, there's no problem, there's no fee for you to fill out the application and the medical questionnaire, and then our team will review that and then explain your options to you. So definitely worth checking out. Again, we want to continue expanding as much as we can and helping people. We're adding some new things to our program that are going to be revolutionary in how we support people, especially with chronic illness or really exacerbated situations. My friend, and I just asked you to pray for our friend Tom, who's a friend but also a member of the ministry, who had a stroke. I mean, we want to support Tom. Tom's got a long road to recovery. He's in rehab from a stroke, and we need to support him. So we want to provide those resources, those advocates to help you make good decisions and guide you to the right care.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're building something. We're not perfect yet. We're not. We have the best, most comprehensive program we thought we could start out with, and we will continue building. We want to invite you today to consider being a member of Solidarity HealthShare. Solidarity is a member ministry. You are not going to be paying for things that are unethical. We're following, as Catholics, some of you may not be Catholic, but we're following the ethical directives of the church. So it doesn't get much more kind of conservative in how we approach morality, and what we're going to pay for.
Yeah, and just like our history too, is our key strategic partner of this is a Mennonite community outside in Ohio. And so we joined together because our beliefs are very similar to the Mennonite creeds, the Protestant, the Christian, the non-denominational beliefs on how to provide health care that's for the whole body, and then that doesn't egregious or violate the teaching of Christ on any, do not kill, do not damage, and such.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's our goal. So we want to invite you to be a part of it. Check it out. There's obviously no obligation to check it out, but check it out and see if this is something for your family. With Obamacare and the ACA, there's open enrollment periods, and maybe with your employer insurance, there's open enrollment periods. With Solidarity HealthShare, there's not. It's always available. We always accepting members. You always start on the first of the next month. And we can explain to you how to contact your insurance company and cancel and all that stuff, and we'll work with you there.
Yeah.
So please consider joining. We are growing fast. We want you to be a part of our community as we continue building this authentic system of healthcare where people take care of one another's needs. We live the way Christ taught us to live, which is to care for one another, and we want you to be a part of this. So please join us. Thank you so much. This is awesome how many people have viewed this today. Over 200.
Yeah.
At some point, 192 right now.
Somebody wants to repeat that.
Is there a website? Yeah, Solidarity HealthShare. I also posted a link, solidarityhealthshare.org or joinsolidarity.com. Joinsolidarity.com might be a little easier to find. And then if you look in the comments, I pinned a link to our free estimate where you can look at the program options and costs. So,
great.
So joinsolidarity.com. I'm getting directions from my producer, and apparently I did everything right. So this
Who's
is
the
awesome.
producer?
Well, I don't even know. It's just there's some random person that's sending messages to me on my iPad. I hope it's somebody that works with us.
I thought you got pinned or something.
All right. Hey, our friend Matt Bellis said we did a good job. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for watching. So, hey, God bless you. Thank you so much. We're going to eat lunch. So we'll look for your comments. Call us, email us, write more comments, and we'll respond. God bless.
All right. Thank you.